Well, back home on Dalal Street, market ended with slim gains. The Nifty saw sharp recovery in last hour to end just shy of the 10,850 mark. The Sensex too ended just below the 36,200 mark, and banks, they ended flat with a positive bias led by sharp uptick in Yes Bank, while the mid-caps underperformed. And Mangalam, what are the cues that we are watching out for market today?
Well, as far as the opening is concerned, the SGX Nifty indicates that we're likely to open just above the 10,900 mark, so 10,930 thereabouts. But for all practical purposes, over the last many sessions, let's take a look at just the last 4 sessions. The Nifty has been in a range 10,800 to slightly higher of 10,950. So let's see how it goes. And those numbers, I'm talking about the high and low. If you just take a look at the average high and average low of the last 4 days or this week itself, the Nifty has been in a 100-point range, which is about 10,840 to 10,940. So it will be very interesting to see whether we break out of their range or break down of that range, or what particularly happens, because right now up until the budget looks like the triggers are few and far in between. The Nifty Bank move up yesterday was purely on account of Yes Bank, so let's see whether there is follow through on that as well or not. Nifty Bank was up 16 points, the Yes Bank contributed about 72 points. This week itself, the mid caps, they've underperformed. It wasn't just yesterday. The advanced decline yesterday was weak, but this week in descending order, if you must, the Nifty was down 0.5%, the Junior was down about 0.7% along with the Nifty Bank, and the mid-cap index, that one actually lost about 1.5%. What is batting for the bulls? Ever since Reliance results came by last Thursday, that stock is up about 10%, so that one's holding one end on the Nifty itself. Technically speaking, the range is very consolidatory, because if you take a look at the lowest moving average that we have and the highest moving average that we have, the difference between them is just about 62 odd points. So at the lower level, there is a fair amount of support, and that's where we are right now as well. So much so that ahead of an expiry week, which is next week, the maximum call open interest and put open interest are within a 200-point difference of each other as well. So watch out for these cues, and more importantly, up until the budget, watch out for macro cues coming in. GST collection being the key trigger. We understand that the collection has been lower than estimates, and is there any announcement that comes in ahead of the budget with regards to farm package or any package to MSMEs, etc. The budget itself will be important, and post the budget and post the spending on the budget or spendings announced on the budget, the RBI policy itself will be important. But that is for the next series. For today itself, watch out for L&T and Maruti Suzuki in terms of numbers. They're the key index stocks we'll be watching out for.
Absolutely, these two stocks will be in focus, but what are the other stocks that you're watching out for?
Well, a fair amount of other stocks. First, we'll watch out for Yes Bank itself. The big move that we saw of nearly 30-35 rupees intraday on account of the new CEO announcement. Let's see whether there is follow through or not, because now we're getting some brokerage commentary. Well, they're enthused that there is a new CEO. The key uncertainty for RBI's divergence report and likely kitchen sinking still remains. So let's see where that one goes. Biocon. Good numbers coming out. Ekta says it's very, very good. It's the highest ever quarterly revenue and profit. Revenue high by 46%, net profit more than doubling, 136% growth out there. Emphasis, inline set of numbers, 3% growth in the rupee revenue, and the EBIT was lower by about 3 odd crores, 311 crores is what the company posted. PNB Housing, loan growth at 38.3%, still slowest in the last 2 years, but perhaps it's also on account of the higher yields that they're getting on the loan growth. Abhishek says this is unheard of, 10.77%. But on that stock as well, PNB stake sale remains an overhang. Reliance Power, 16% decline in the revenue, near 32% decline in the net profit. South Indian paper mills, all through this result season, we've seen good numbers coming in from paper companies out there in South Indian paper mills as well. While the revenue increased by just about 20 odd percent, we saw a much bigger growth coming in their net profit on a low base. Z Media also good reports, good results coming in, 27 crores net profit. This compares with 12 crores and a revenue growth of 23%. Hatson Agro, looks like there was a margin expansion because revenue growth of 14% led to a net profit growth of 23%. Good numbers coming in from Jindal Saw as well. 11% growth on the top line, 24% growth on the EBITDA, and net profit increasing by 56%. Quest Corp, snooze of a quarter, 3.3% growth in the net profit as well as the revenue. Ambit has cut their estimates. And finally, a lot of non-result related stocks we'll be watching out for. Suntech, of course, on account of results. Mindtree, Tata Motors, and 2 new listings that we have.